Greetings, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. This is ETV News with the news. I'm Shafaraulako. Thank you for joining us. Now, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed met with the recently appointed Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang. The newly appointed Foreign Minister of the People's Republic of China, Qin Gang, arrived in Addis Ababa earlier yesterday for his overseas official working visit. Premier Abiy met with the Foreign Minister and held discussion to highlight steadfast bilateral issues. Following their discussion, Prime Minister Abiy stated that the relation between Ethiopia and China remains persistent. I welcome to Ethiopia Mr. Qin Gang, the Foreign Minister of the People's Republic of China. The relations between the two countries remain steadfast, the Premier wrote on Twitter. Our discussion today highlighted this, our shared strategic development goals and commitment to continental and global cooperation, he added. Moving on, Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Demeke Mekonnen, has expressed his appreciation to the Chinese Foreign Minister who has chosen Ethiopia to travel to as his first African country. The two sides have signed a memorandum of understanding to further their cooperation on various areas. Kasaun Chane has more on that.
Welcome. Thank you. Wow. Demeke Mekonnen, Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, praised China for taking a principled, persistent stand in favor of Ethiopia's sovereignty and territorial integrity in the international arena. He also declared that Ethiopia's commitment to strengthening its relations with China.
The two countries have signed a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership agreement and have been working towards its materialization. The visit of the Foreign Minister has given us a great opportunity to express our gratitude to China for its principled stance in supporting Ethiopia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. We have reviewed our extensive bilateral relations and agreed to further deepen the all-round cooperation in various.
The Chinese Foreign Minister, for his part, reaffirmed the Chinese government's commitment to strengthening and maintaining its all-weather friendship with Ethiopia. The Foreign Minister further emphasized that the two nations should strengthen their historical relations by making efforts to promote development cooperation, confront global issues together, and jointly defend international justice, noting that Ethiopia is a significant developing country in Africa.
埃塞是有重要影响力的非洲大国、发展中大国，也是中国在
Ethiopia is a major African country and a major developing country with important influence. It is also an important cooperation partner of China in Africa. Over the 5 decades and more since we forged diplomatic ties, no matter how the international environment changed, China-Ethiopia friendship has always remained unbreakable and grown from strength to strength. Over the recent years, under the strategic guidance of the leaders of our two countries, the bilateral relationship has kept growing at a high level, and our cooperation in various fields has produced fruitful results.
On the occasion, Demeke briefed the Chinese Foreign Minister on a Pretoria peace agreement and its status of implementation, thanking China for its support of peace and stability in Ethiopia.
I have briefed His Excellency, Mr. Gang, about the implementation of the agreement for lasting peace through a permanent cessation of hostilities signed on 2nd November 2022, and the measures the government of Ethiopia has been taking to this end. We have reviewed encouraging peace and security development initiatives in the Horn of Africa and Africa at large. We have agreed to cooperate in the face of many unprecedented global challenges such as climate change and the like. We have signed a memorandum of understanding on political consultation between our two countries. The implementation of This memorandum will enable China and Ethiopia to further strengthen their bilateral ties and expand the areas of cooperation.
Chinese Foreign Minister claimed that China's policy of sending its foreign ministers to Africa for the past 33 years is a testimony of its commitment to furthering its relations with the continent. It is known that the Ethiopian People's Republic of China established diplomatic ties in 1917.
Now, the newly appointed ambassador of the United Kingdom to Ethiopia says his country will continue to be one of the leading countries supporting Ethiopia's development endeavors. The ambassador Darren Welch has presented a copy of his letter of credentials to Ambassador Dammeka Atnafu, Chief of Protocol at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ambassador Dammeka said that the two countries should work to further strengthen ties in different sectors. He also expressed the unwavering commitment of the Ethiopian government to implement the Pretoria Peace Agreement. Speaking about the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Ambassador Dammeka reiterated Ethiopia's position to use the dam for development objectives. Ambassador Welch, on his part, said his country would continue to be one of the leading countries supporting Ethiopia's development efforts. He has also pledged to strengthen relations between Ethiopia and the UK. Now, Ethiopia has signed a historic peace agreement in South Africa, which has put an end to the conflict that claimed lives and destroyed properties. And this cessation of hostilities are progressing very well. And to tell us more in this regard, in this studio, I'm joined by Sisai Tasama, who is a political analyst. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Now, briefly, can you tell me the overall implementation of this cessation of hostilities and what is expected from every actor that's concerned?
I think it is a good beginning for a peace-building process, which is held at Pretoria Summit. Both sides was trying to make peace for the country, for the future generation, and developing peace in the country.
Right.
So the both sides has played a great role, including the African Union, even the stakeholders who were there, the Western people especially, they were trying to make peace and support. So the peace agreement is, as per my observation, it is held as scheduled. I think we have seen that the transportation has been held, air transport,
right.
And people are traveling from Addis to Mekelle. So the peace process stakeholders, especially the Western people, they should have to try to support the peace building process rather
right.
than, you know, putting unnecessary interference as usual. Okay, so. Yeah. The peace building by itself, it has been held by the negotiation by the leading role of the African Union. That is a good progress for us.
Exactly. In this connection, how exemplary can this cessation of hostilities be, especially when it comes to, you know, this model of African solutions to African problems?
Yeah, this slogan by itself, it is. I'm really proud, you know, to be the first country which is the negotiation held by the African Union,
right.
by the slogan which is the African problem by the Africans. So I think there will be a good foundation for other Africans, those who are in conflict between the groups. The other country will take a lesson from Ethiopian negotiation which is held in Pretoria. So the negotiation process by itself, it is a good lesson for other African regions.
Yeah, good lesson indeed. And what is expected from Western powers and other international community to help Ethiopia?
I think on the rehabilitation process, they should have to contribute their own part. They should have to play on the rehabilitation process, rebuilding of the war zone, especially Tigray, Amhara, and Afar region, and they should have to support in any ways to raise up these countries. We are developing countries, so we need their supports. I think this is.
Yeah, this is the message. Sisai Tsama, political analyst, thank you so much for your ideas.
Thank you so much. Okay.
ያመውም የመጣ ከገርነ ንግስተ ሰባ ጋር እያያዘራሱ ለምንድነው እንትን የተባለው ማይለምን የተባለው ዘንዶው ነው እዚህ ውሃው ይጠጣል ማለት ነው በርቀት ያዩን ሰዎች አይኑን ወላጎላ ያለ በጣም እንትን ነበር ትላልቅ ነበርና አያችሁት አይኑን ሲሉት ሎሚ ያክላል ሲሉ እዛ ከዛ የተነሳ ነው ማይለምን የተባለው ነው የሚሉን እንግዲህ በታሪክ የቆየ ነው ማለት ነውና ከዛ ጋር ነው የሚያያይዙት
ይሄ ስፍራ በ1996 ዓመተ ምህረት በፈረንጆች አቆጣጠር ማለት ነው የአርኪኦሎጂ ዳሰሳ ተደርጎበት ነበር የዳሰሳው ሪፖርት እንደሚያሳየው ይሄ ቦታ በቀደምት ሰዎች ማህበረሰብ ሰፍረውበት እንደነበረ ይገልጻል
Welcome back, you're still watching Addis News Hour. The Ethiopian Diaspora Service says the diasporas have made great contributions to the construction, peace and development of Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Diaspora Service, along with partner organizations, made a statement regarding the recognition program to be held themed Ethio Diaspora Award. Director General of the service, Mohammed Idris, announced that Ethiopian diasporas have played a great role for the overall development, peace and stability of Ethiopia. He said that especially in the past 2 years, the diaspora has made a great contribution to Ethiopia's efforts to assert its sovereignty by overcoming the challenges it has faced. The service announced that it will conduct a recognition program on January 26, 2023. Moving on, the Basketo People's New Year Shola Kasha holiday is colorfully celebrated in Ethiopian southern region. The festival is observed every year at the beginning of January. The event has colorfully been observed with various traditional ceremonies in the attendance of the community residents and senior government officials. The day is considered by the community to be a day of thanksgiving to God, as it is celebrated after farmers harvest their crops before the beginning of January. It is also served as a time of transition to the new year and time to pray to God for the new year to be a time of peace, joy and success to the community. Well, dear viewers, let's now turn our attention to trending stories over the past 24 hours. And I'm joined by my colleague Goshu Malisa, who is going to help us some of the things that he saw. Goshu, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me, Shpe.
So what are some of the things that you observed over the past 24 hours?
Yeah, over the past 24 hours, which grabbed the attention of many social media and various media outlets, is that TPLF combatants have started handing over heavy weapons to the national army. Okay. So this has grabbed the many social medias and international media outlets, and it is proliferating in various social media outlets. So we remember that the federal government and TPLF signed peace agreement more than two months ago to end the bloody conflict in the northern parts of the country. Yeah. And following this, an Ethiopian delegation, which is led by his House Speaker Taggese Chafo, and including Prime Minister's National Security Advisor Redwan Hussein, and several ministers visited Tigray region's capital Mekelle on December 26. We remember that. Yeah. And this is marking a major step in the peace process. So the terms of the peace agreement, or one of the major contents of the peace agreement, is disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. So the terms of the peace agreement signed on November 2 includes disarming rebel forces, restoring federal authority in Tigray, and opening access and communication in the region. Mm-hmm. So most of the basic services in Tigray region are restored, and they are giving or delivering services in the region. So I think the government, according to government sources, 70% of Tigray region is under the federal government control. So the handover took place yesterday in the town of Agula, which is around 30 kilometers northeast of the regional capital Mekelle, was overseen by monitoring team comprising members of the two sides and regional body, the Intergovernmental Authority, or IGAD. With the presence of these bodies, they have started disarming or handing over heavy weapons to the national army. So of course it's not detailed how long it will stay, the disarmament, I mean how long it will stay was not detailed according to the information, but they have started to hand over heavy weapons. So the other thing is that here Chinese foreign minister is paying a visit in Ethiopia, and he is expected to, as we have heard in the news earlierly, between China and Ethiopia, they have signed memorandum of understanding between the two sides, and he is expected to inaugurate Chinese-built Africa CDC today. And the other thing is that what I have observed in the TV broadcasters in Tigray region is that among the peace agreement includes the avoiding provocative or aggressive orders. Okay. But still the Tigray region, or the Tigray media houses and other things, they are still provocating, or they are not refrained from using these orders, aggressive words like Amhara expansionist forces and genociders and the like. I think these words are included in the peace agreement. They will disrupt the peace process or threaten the peace process. They should be refrained from that. And the other thing is that German and French diplomatic chiefs, according to diplomatic sources, will pay visit in Ethiopia in consolidating the peace agreement that have observed in social media over the past 24 hours. Shafi.
Wow, Goshu, thank you so much for that update.
Thank you very much, Shafi.
Now moving to other stories, a delegation consisting officials of the Ethiopian Athletics Federation and athletes born in Tigray region traveled to Mekelle city. The delegation was led by Ethiopian Athletics Federation President, athlete Darartu Tulu. The travel aims to facilitate reunion of athletes with their families after 18 months of war in the northern part of the country, according to Ethiopian Athletics Federation. The Tigray-born Ethiopian athletes that traveled to Mekelle Letesambat Gide, Goititom Gebrselassie and Gudaf Sagai. These young athletes won gold medals at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and the Oregon World Athletics Championships 2022. Since the conflict erupted in the northern part of the country, the athletes have not been able to meet their families for more than a year. The delegation's trip mainly aims to reunite the athletes with their families, Ethiopian Athletics Federation stated.